There we go. Yikes. Well, look at that. The odd cobweb. Yeah. Okay, so pull this off. I'm gonna rebuild my inner now. Finally. Okay. Got my steel. I know where this has to be. Got the measurement. So I'm gonna bump this out. I'm gonna do a chunk right here, probably to here, just so I get the center where it has to be. This is all good. This is good. This middle, you can see that ridge where it was pushed in. Okay, I'm just going to do the face first. I'm going to add the opening later. For right now, the first piece anyhow. Alright, got some of my inner roughed in. I'm gonna make sure I'm heading in the right direction. On there. Hang on. 3/4. Check the other side. So I have another lead seam to melt out. I'm doing, see? Okay. Get rid of some more junk. Same thing here as you see that one spot of softness here. And instead of being over here, right on the outer edge, I'm going to replace that. That's an easy piece to do after I get the corner on. This stuff, this is nice and freaking solid. I'm just going to hit that with the belt sander and clean off the old spot welds. Okay, this is mostly really solid, but it has one spot here, and I'm going to replace the flange. Maybe I'm being a little paranoid, but that's all right. So, just cut a piece out. Down a bit in the middle, actually. Just a little more. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. There. Oh, better mark where I'm going to cut out. Great. So I'm just going to weld this whole piece on. It's easy that way. Then I'll cut it to length. You can tell by the sparks and the sound that metal's in pretty good shape. Where I damaged it. Yeah, for all the trouble it is, I'll just put in a small piece. this fit right there. Then I can grind this up, and then I'm going to do all my cleanup on the inner quarter, and drill spot welds in my new quarter. Okay. That cleans up that little spot. So now I got a whole bunch of cleanup. A little bit of blasting. Some just basic cleanup, some priming, some hole punching. So get after that. We are finally ready to set the quarter in place. So, pick it up, hammer's pretty much dry. Come on. I want to get this thing on there. Yeah, I like it when they drop on like that. Well, fingers crossed. What do we got? Ooh, that's pretty good. It's a good start. Okay. It's a little tough because I have to zip cut that still. So I can butt weld it. Put a bit of tension to get this lined up. Cool. Let's see what I got. Pretty nice. That's pretty even. Until right where it dips in. So lighten that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wouldn't normally recommend welding this much in one area to start, but I've had this on a lot of times. And I have to pull the bottom down, and it was always pulling me away from the top. So that's why I've tacked it here and at the back and then the rear window opening. And now, just for the hell of it, I'm getting this nicely tacked. And then I'm going to go down underneath and I'll pull it as tight as I can. I've got my measurements here I'm happy with. So I'll do a couple of tacks there too. Everyone's a little different. All right, we got this welded down low, around the wheelhouse, finish across the sail panel. That's the sail panel. In the door jamb. Got my plug wells down the top of the trunk. Up the window opening. So tomorrow I just have to fit the tail light and do the trunk drop off. So today, built the inner, got the quarter on. That's pretty good. Well, that's fair. That's reasonable. I wish it had gone a little better, but there was lots of little stuff to deal with. So that may be it for the day. We'll see. And, oh yeah, someone's ready to go home. Cheers.
The next day.
I'm grinding currently. I got that quarter on. So right now I'm getting ready to put a drop off in. So up in here, I've got the drop off all clamped in space. I've still got to grind the lower and the lower here. And I fit the tail light housing, quarter panel extension to the quarter on this side. I still have to weld the bottom up and do a patch. This side I still have to fit. I'm trying to find a better quarter panel extension. The underside of this looks great. You can still see the paint under there. So I mean, this is in really good shape. So right now I'm going to set up my welder and I'll start welding that in. All right. So we're about, yes, I would say, yeah, we can start welding this in. I've got a few of them set up where they belong. Got that. Okay, I'm just going to do some grinding on the inside here. Do a couple more tack welds. Then I'll go up top and I've got to make a little piece for the inside here. So that's going well. I mean, there's still little stuff like lining up the other quarter panel extension. I have the rear window lip where the window channel, the rear window sits down in the back window. I've got to build that. That's going to be a bit time consuming. So I'm trying to get the big stuff out of the way. I will clean up the fenders maybe and get them hanging on the car just to see how they fit. Mike kind of wanted to sandblast them. We'll see if we have available time. So I have a little patch to do up in here. So I'll have to take that back tire off and get my head in there and finish that when I do the back. So it's coming along nicely. It's just little bits are time consuming, so keep at her. Okay, now we have some more little pieces. I'm going to start by making a piece that goes up in here. So I'm going to rough cut. it's supposed to come down here. As you can see, it doesn't take long, and I'm almost there. I need, looks like a 5/16 off. Ooh, and I gotta come up here. Where does it fit? Doesn't take long once you get after it. Okay. Okay, that's it. Speed roll. Well, that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to, it's supposed to be trimmed down here. I got a sandblast in behind it and prime. I do have a felt tool somewhere handy, so I can mark where I'm going to do my spot welds. 1, 2, 3, like the other side. Okay. All right, here's one. There we go. Ta-da! Felt. About an inch. Oh yeah, it's supposed to come here. This will make it fit better. Yeah, and there we have it. Okay, a hole punch that, sandblast and trim the inner, then I can weld this on. There we go. Alright, now I gotta go get the freaking sandblaster. Whew. Yes. Okay, just put a tack on that. Okay, now the factory had an extra brake coming this way. They could spot weld it. They make things so they're easy to assemble in mass numbers, large numbers. I didn't want to spend another 20 minutes making this piece, so I just did a long weld down the side. It's just as strong, it's in there, and it gets gooped. Now I'll make this piece here. Okay, put it on the outside. So this has got a few breaks in it. So I'm just trying to do it really fast. Okay. I know I need a break down here. I'll do that with an edge of steel somewhere. Once I get that one bent up, I can set this in, and I have to do a bend along here, just with the hammer. Nothing fancy. Sharper. Yeah, we're digging that. And this, you can see where that felt is. Oh, there's one break. Here. Okay, still a bit rough, but you get the idea. It doesn't take that long. You gotta make that a little sharper. I need something heavier. Yep, pretty much there. So I'm going to hole punch this, and then I'm going to trace around the outside ends. And I'll manipulate it a little more, but we're pretty much there. Right on. I have a little bit of a gap to fill, but I'll do that with lower, I'll set up for a lower heat on my welder. I'll fill across the gap. I wouldn't do that on a big panel. And again, it was a very tiny one. Structurally sound when we're done. I'm going to paint the back of it, and I'm going to grind it here. So, just there. Yeah, I'm going to flatten this out, that's too sharp a curve. Let's get closer. Then I gotta twist it. Twist it. Because it's right from here, it's going to angle out. So, See what happens with that. It appears I twisted it the wrong way. Alright, I'll start welding the bottom, then I can get in behind with the dolly and tap this where it belongs and zip down the edge like we always do. And then you'll see the finished product. So I'm going to prime it, and we'll see where we're at. Oh, and I got to grind this too. Okay, it's not overly pretty, but I've got my lines in there, in here, and up here, and down here. The bumper actually sits up over top of this, but the rust is replaced, structurally sound. Now I can lower the car a bit. I got to take off the back tire, and I'm going to fix a small spot inside this wheelhouse right here. So I'm probably going to go right across, make sure I'm at really good metal, and actually I'm going to raise this up a hair. And then I'm going to do that next. And I haven't quite decided if I'm going to put a plate over this, because this is that low spot the factory has, and they fill it with lead. So it comes down to time. I want to get the front fenders on the car. A lot of things to do, and the back window has to be rebuilt still. So right now I'll raise it up a little bit, and I'll do that spot in there. Put some cat's ass on it when I put it back together. And then when I get the tire off, then I can grind up, pick these welds off too. There we go. Yikes. Well, look at that. The odd cobweb. Yeah. Ta-da! Okay, I'll take this out right to here. This is all new metal and good metal for the most part. So I'm going to use my small 3-inch. Okay, and I gotta pop these welds. Let me start. It's just a pair of pliers. Nice, eh? Okay, now we're getting the good metal. Oh. I think I'll use the belt sander to finish those spot welds. behind there is goop. Goop that they put on at the factory. We're getting rid of that. We're going to make sure we got good metal there. If there's any question, we take out more. I think we're at good metal. Okay, I'm going to hole punch this. Okay, now I'm going to etch prime it, or galvanized coating, weld through, and I'm going to let that dry, and next you'll see we'll be starting to tack it in. Just some vice grips. Once it's all in place, then I'm going to trim this bottom, but I'll wait till it's in place to trim that. I've got to grind this edge all the way around. Don't want any sharp edges, because the first thing a lot of us do when we go check out a car for sale, reach up in here to see if it's been repaired or full of Bondo or what. So I don't want anyone to cut their fingers, so I've got to grind that off. And a little tappage. A little up. We're almost there. Okay, I'm going to start over here. Get this dialed in. I'm going to have to zip a little bit more there. I'll get some tacks in here. It's going to be all right. Staring right into the light while you're welding doesn't help your welding helmet work great. But I got my two nice welds. Yeah, it's a bit of around, but I mean, I grind this down. I mean, yeah, the welds don't look great. They're penetrated. Not taking a long time. With some dents coming in this way. And then when I finish grinding and welding this is supposed to go down about here. And I believe we come down over here. And I'll trim it along that line. And that completes this side finally. And I got to go back and play with that other tail light extension, quarter panel extension on the driver's side. But for now, you can see what's going on here. I'll finish this off, grind it. I'll show you afterwards. It looks good. It will look good. How's that? Okay, so you can see what's going on here. You can see my inner. Now, yes, the welds on the outside weren't that pretty, but you can see they were well penetrated all the way around, right? And that's what I'm concerned with. This has all been trimmed. I can see I have to tap this a little bit to make it tight. I've ground this back edge, a couple little things there. I've welded the back side. I've ground that piece now. You can see it's all right. Not spectacular, but it's good. So down here is all welded in. Again, the floor pan's very nice. The other side's welded. Now I'm going to go lower the car down and we're going to fix up that far quarter panel extension area. But I'm pleased with this. I mean, that's a bunch of small panels, a bunch of around. But if I ground that down now, paint it, maybe even some box liner if I want that, that would be a totally invisible repair. And it's fine. It took extra long. I didn't have a whole new outer wheelhouse, but we made it work the way it is. So, a few different pieces, nothing too fancy. You can do it at home. I didn't use an English wheel on those. I used a shrinker stretcher. They're cheap. If you're doing even one car, it might be worthwhile to consider or borrow one from a buddy. So, it's been a bit of a slog here, but I'm happy at least I'm ending up with good results, though a little bit slower than I had anticipated. So I'm going to lower it down now. It's a kind of a good day. Always a pain, but I had to trim quarters. Sometimes you have to do that to get the right gap here. Just had to take a saw width out, a blade width. I've made all this fit. And the other side was already done. We had that done. So now, I think tomorrow, I'm going to replace this back window channel. And then, I did some bit of hammering on the other fender. This one, I still have to do some grinding to make this fit. Kind of makes it look like a car, right? This fender, it had some body mangle. You can still see it in the center. Once I have it on the car, I can get my hand up in there and I can hammer and dolly that nicely. And I still have to fix this lower rad support. But we're almost there.